Hi, everybody. We hope everybody's going to have a great weekend.
We certainly do.
And we're going to have a great one. And if you are new to our channel, we would really like you to subscribe to us.
If you could consider subscribing, it does help us so much, and it really does encourage us to make more videos.
It does.
Which we hope you do enjoy. So, Teen, where were we 1 year ago today?
We were in the Algarve in Portugal, Norm.
Oh, and it was sunny.
And it was hot and it was beautiful, and we wish we were back there.
We certainly do. Especially as today it's -10 and it's snowing outside. So
it is really cold.
This is why we go to Portugal in the winter time.
This is true.
So what are we going to talk about today, Teen?
We're going to talk about the 10 things that we actually love about Portugal.
And we do love Portugal. In case anybody who saw our scary Portugal video thought that we were criticizing it, we were just having a bit of fun, really, for Halloween.
Yeah, that was the only reason. We love Portugal.
We truly love Portugal, and we love being there. And we wish we were there today, right now.
We do. And next year, we're hoping to get back there for possibly like a 3-month stay, because we are snowbirds.
Yeah,
and
we're retired. We love it. We should be in Portugal. So, 10 things we love about Portugal, Teen. You take it away.
One of the things is the people. They're so warm and friendly, and they just make you feel welcome to visiting their country.
They do, and the language is difficult for us. We do try. We only have words that we will use in Portuguese. We haven't really got phrases.
No.
And we find so many of the Portuguese people so kind to us, speaking English, helping us out. Even in the supermarkets, the cash-out lady.
Yeah, they'll talk English, won't they?
They will, and they're very helpful. And if you need any help in a store or things like that, they're always willing to take you to what you're trying to find. So, number 2.
Number 2 is the climate.
Well, that's the whole reason we go there.
It is definitely warmer. And we just love the blue skies. And
that is one of the biggest draws of Portugal,
it is
especially
for us,
the Algarve, southern Portugal, is those absolutely intense blue skies that you have.
Yeah, we love it. You can just wake up in the morning,
and
open
it lifts
the
your
blinds.
spirits.
It's great, isn't it? And then hopefully it's there when you know, it's just there. It makes you feel good, doesn't it?
It is. So we're going to run through these pretty quick, because I'm sure you don't want to be bored out of your brains. So these are just things that we love. Number 3, we discovered Portuguese wine. And the story behind that is in Canada, in Ontario, we buy wine from a government liquor control board liquor store called the LCBO. And in our little town, they probably have 4 different bottles of Portuguese wine.
We don't have a lot of choice, do we?
So until we started traveling to Portugal, we only knew from basically our teenage years was Matias Rosé. And that's a very drinkable wine.
It is.
And it's a lovely little bottle it comes in that you can stick a candle in afterwards.
It's a nice sort of summery wine, isn't it?
So we weren't aware of Portuguese wine. So we end up being in the Algarve. We go to one of the big supermarkets, and they have 4 linear long aisles of Portuguese wine.
The choice is just phenomenal, isn't it? There's everything.
So we started experimenting, and we have never had a bad experience of Portuguese wine.
No.
Even the cheapest or the best.
They all taste great, don't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So literally you could be getting a €2 bottle of wine that's incredibly drinkable, or you could splash out and have a €15 bottle, which in Canada would probably be around $80.
And we have been trying all the different wines from different regions too, haven't we? So
yeah, we were aware of Douro because we were going to take that cruise, that river cruise one time, weren't we?
Yeah, we were. Well, we've also visited Porto for a week, haven't we?
So, and we do love Port.
Yeah, we
That
do.
was a big favourite. So where are we now? Number 4.
One of the favorites is just walking on miles of golden sand.
And that was in our very first video of being in Albufeira, walking on the beach. And it, coming from inland, we're what, 3,000 miles away from an ocean?
Yeah, so to us it's great that we can just walk on the beach with those wonderful rugged cliffs.
Oh, it's just absolutely beautiful.
And they're so like gorgeously orange in colour, aren't they, and rugged, and we just love it, don't we?
Yeah,
it's just
there's
very
these
nice.
limestone cliffs, they're eroded, and then you have these huge rock formations on some of the beaches.
Yeah, it's great.
Just spectacular, and never a dull moment to be in Portugal.
No,
so
we love
walking
those.
on the beach and looking at the cliffs. Number 5, architecture.
And one of the things that we see, stunning architecture, is the churches.
Absolutely gorgeous.
And I love going in them all because they're just so nice inside. But
They really are,
outside.
and they can be tiny little chapels where a handful of people can go in, up to huge cathedrals.
Yeah. Well, we went into we've been in cathedrals, haven't we, in Faro and...
well, we went in that one in Lisbon that had been damaged by fire.
Yeah, that was gorgeous
so they
too,
decided to stabilize the interior, but it's still fire damaged as you go in, and that's how they're leaving it, as a tribute.
Yeah, so the architecture is just beautiful, isn't it? We love it.
And the buildings are so old, and that's what we miss in Canada, is that we haven't really much older buildings in about 200, 250 years.
So we get our sort of old fix over there, don't we?
We do. Tina gets her old fix living with an old guy.
Oh yeah, because you're officially retired now.
Oh, I'm the old guy.
Wow, we're on number 6 now.
Restaurants.
Restaurants.
The food.
Food is fabulous, eh?
It is, and Portugal has still got a lot of mom and pop restaurants, individually owned, from basic cafes through to fine dining, and man, the food is amazing.
And one of the things that we really love is that all these places offer a dish of the day.
They do.
And it can be a very reasonable price, and often includes even wine with it too.
Yeah, well, we love taking that dish of the day just because we don't know all the Portuguese dishes, so it introduces us to something new. We've never had a bad experience.
No.
But we have been to a lot of these restaurants where you get a dish of the day. We've shared it between the two of us because
They're so big, the portions.
a lot of the times, huge portions.
Yeah.
We have a carafe of wine.
Yeah.
And
makes it really good.
you know, you'd struggle to pay €10.
Plus, another place that we discovered on the last visit, Norm, was at the grocery stores. Wow, some of those have got unbelievable deals. Now, predominantly lunchtime, aren't they?
Yeah, so you kind of think cafeteria, but this is on a whole new level. So,
like on steroids.
So you remember going into Pingo Doce in Albufeira, and they have a massive self-serve restaurant. But they have a section for fresh meats and fish that you choose your own steak or you choose your own fish. And then they have another section which is all traditional Portuguese cuisine.
And the big pizza bit that they had, where we had a pizza cooked. We customized our own pizza. It was wonderful.
And one evening we went down there and took it to go, and they put it in a box for us, and off we went.
And I think that only cost us like €5 for the whole thing.
And it was a massive pizza.
We loved it. So food's great. You always find something to eat.
You've got to explore the food of Portugal because it's the original dishes, and they have lots of them.
Yeah.
From the fish pie. We're not going to use this Portuguese names because we'll get complaints. But like the fish pie, bacalhau, and
actually, and one thing I will say
Francina.
with that, Norm, while we're talking about that, is you can get that frozen from the grocery stores.
Oh, yeah,
especially if
we've done that.
If you're self-catering, buy that fish dish from the grocery stores, and it's delicious.
And a lot of the boxes that are selling that, either
really?
own brand, Continent, or
One of the best is Intermarché.
Intermarché is
they
the
do a great
best one for
don't
that
they?
fish dish, the traditional bacalao dish, cod fish pie.
Yeah, which we love it, don't we?
And they normally have a little Portuguese flag on it, just to let you know that it's a national dish. So
It's great.
yeah.
Yeah,
Let's keep going.
experiment.
We're on a roll here.
Oh, this is a favorite of mine, number 7. The oranges. Oh, everywhere you look, like when you get off the plane, pick the car up and driving along, all along the side of the road is the stall selling fresh oranges.
Now, we have to preface this. We're there in their springtime. They're just coming into their springtime. So these oranges have been grown in Portugal, in the south of the country, around Silves. And yeah, you can buy a kilo of them at the roadside, and they're so cheap and so fresh. And,
beautiful. So take them home and you can juice them yourself.
And the other thing, widening it just from the oranges, is the produce. Portugal grows a staggering amount of fresh produce.
Even avocados.
They do. They have their own avocados there.
So now we can get 2 sorts there, the smooth skin and the prickly skin.
And I think they're the largest producer of almonds in Europe.
I think you're right.
So anyway, great fresh produce. If you're self-catering, you're going to love it.
Yeah. And also you can find those too at the fresh markets, which are usually there on a Saturday, aren't they?
They are. So number 8. Portugal knows how to party. if you think your country knows how to party, Portugal is on steroids for partying.
Yeah.
We went to the San Joe festival in Porto.
Oh, yes. That was unbelievable, wasn't it?
It was. And the festivals all along the river, and they set off lighted paper kites, those candles that float up.
Was unbelievable.
You set fire to. But they partied from basically 10 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock the next morning. And we have never seen such a mound of beer bottles as when we went down that staircase.
No.
Oh, it was, and all good-natured.
Yeah.
No violence, no anything. Everybody feels safe. They have the little plastic hammers that they go and hit people on the head with.
It's great. And another favorite of ours is the carnivals too. Like, we've been to the Luli Carnival.
Yeah,
and it's wonderful. In fact, it's almost like a mini Brazil to us, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's Shrove Tuesday.
The floats are amazing, and the effort that people put into doing them, and the marching bands and everything is wonderful. We love it.
The only thing that seems strange is it's a big family event, and you pay a few euros to go in because they've closed like a city square off, and then the floats drive around it. But I suppose we've become prudish living in Canada, and couldn't believe that there was one float with right on the top a few topless women.
There was quite a few on the nudity, which was getting a lot of people there.
Which was funny because all the children are dressed up like they are for Halloween.
Yeah, that's true. But
so festivals, carnival. You have a great time in Portugal. We salute the Portuguese for being party animals.
One of the other things that to us we always take into account when we visit a place is how safe it is. And Portugal makes us feel really safe when we are there.
We feel safe.
Yeah.
But not only that, Portugal is one of the safest countries in the world.
It is. I think it's in the top 3, isn't it?
Of crime.
Of crime. So it's really
and most
safe.
of the crime revolves around petty crime, really.
Yeah.
So
we feel very safe there, don't we, walking around?
So if you're coming from North America, you will notice that. There just isn't. And once again, we're prefacing it. We're there January, February, March.
So we're not there in the busy summertime.
No,
But that's
we're not.
why we go, because we like it like that.
And we just feel safe, secure with wonderful people that live there. So, number 10. Is that number 10 or mine?
Yeah, I think we're on number 10.
Coffee culture. They brew an excellent cup of coffee. No matter
Yes.
how you take your coffee,
Yeah.
the Portuguese take coffee seriously. Almost as serious as wine.
Yeah.
And you can buy a coffee anywhere.
You can get it in the grocery store, the little cafes, you can get them at the airport. Oh, and the railway station.
Yeah, we had
the
one in
train
the
station does some of the best coffees out.
And it's very, very reasonable. We were going
is.
to, once again, Intermarché was relatively nearby where we were staying. And they had a pastel de nata custard tart and an espresso for, I think, $1.50.
Yeah, I think you're right. And my favourite coffee, which I can never pronounce.
Would you like some help?
Yeah,
Galao.
a galao is to die for. It's just like a 3-layer coffee in a glass with a big spoon, and it's wonderful. I love it.
It's a latte on steroids,
It
really.
is. It's great.
Tina loves that. And you can get it everywhere. And it looks so fancy as well.
Yeah, the presentation in the glasses is.
And then if you're having a coffee, you've got to have a pastry. So,
But there's a couple we like, Norm. Not just the pastel de natas. There's another wonderful one that we like.
yeah, the donut that
Yeah.
Portugal has made their own from the Austrian one, which is a Berlin.
And that's really delicious, isn't it?
Because I really love custard creams, and
So he
they
gets-
they split the donut and they fill it full of gorgeous tasting vanilla custard.
Oh, it's making me want a coffee and cake right now, Norm.
And once again, they're all reasonable. And
Yeah,
most of
very
these bakery stores are baking their own, so
Yeah.
you're getting it fresh,
Yeah, yeah. The
and you
only,
can always get a coffee. With
yeah,
it
the
too.
only place that's maybe a little on the expensive side is possibly at the airports, isn't it? But everywhere else is very reasonable.
Everything at an airport is expensive, but we genuinely love Portugal. We've been going there for 3 years. It's a great way to escape the winter for us, and we're just hoping that we'll be able to be back there maybe
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah, we've got our fingers crossed, haven't we, that we would, this time next year, we'd like to be back there.
And if you haven't been to Portugal,
But
you
if-
should give it a try. Put it on your list.
Yeah.
You won't be disappointed.
No.
So that's about it for us.
Yeah. Those are some of a lot of the top things we really love, aren't they?
We have. And the places we've been to in Portugal now have been Porto, Lisbon, Sintra,
Yeah.
Lule, Silves, and the whole of the Algarve. We've gone east to west.
Yeah. Oh, plus Cascais we've been to. That was beautiful.
Cascais.
Cascais, that was beautiful. We loved that place too.
Yeah, and where was the casino there?
Estoril.
And we went to Estoril as well.
Yes, we did.
So the only thing we haven't done is the northwest and northeast of Portugal, which we hope to do one day.
Yeah, and maybe a river cruise through the wine area
Through
possibly
the
would
Douro
be
Valley
nice,
is
wouldn't
still
it?
very much on our list,
On
yeah.
our list of things to do.
So thanks for joining us again. Hope you're going to have a great weekend.
Yeah, hope everybody's staying safe and keeping well.
Yeah, keep away from that virus. And we'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.